This is the summary for Lost Mines of Phandelver Session 12, which took place on the 10th of January, February, March, April, May. So it took place on the 10th of May 2025. The session started on the 20th of Marpanoth, right at the end of the day, where the party had just informed Harbin Wester of Phandalin, of the things that they had spotted last session, which was possibly an army, they're not 100% sure, as well as possibly an ancient dragon, of which they saw the form of, they think, the shadow of, many, many miles off. So they spoke to Harbin Wester as soon as they landed in Phandalin, and then Harbin Wester requested and sent a chap called Silda Hallwinter to Neverwinter to inform them. In the session today was Garrett, Horus, Morgran, Barty, otherwise known as Bartholomew, but you can call him Barty, and Omari. They spent the evening in the Stonehill Inn in Phandalin, reassuring the townsfolk that the dragon isn't a major issue, and that they are looking into it. The rest of the evening goes mostly swimmingly. They settle in for the evening, and it's the next day, which is the 21st of Marpanoth. The next day, the party opted to head to Cragmaw Castle, which they now know the location of, or they have previously worked at the location. After the first day of travel, they have a quick encounter with, I believe, an ogre of some kind. I can't actually remember. It's been a couple of weeks since that session actually took place. And the party arrived on the outskirts of the castle, so they could just see it off in the distance, on the 25th of Marpanoth. So we're now getting well into what we call autumn, what they call leafall, I think. And the party, I believe, yes, and the party get to Cragmaw Castle on the 25th of Marpanoth. The party do scout a lot of the castle. One of the guys goes around the borders on the edge, and then reports back to the rest of the party. They identify a bunch of hobgoblins in one area, and they do correctly identify that at the front of the castle there are some goblins keeping watch, the most loosest of watches, like the most goblin watch ever. They successfully convince the goblins to take them to their leader. They convince the goblin that they're from the Black Spider, whoever that might be. And the goblin takes them through to a hobgoblin, I believe, if I can recall correctly, called King Groll. After having a quick chat with King Groll and a drow standing next to King Groll, the party do identify that there is an absolutely knackered, smashed up to biscuits dwarf in the corner. They think it's a dwarf. Is relatively short, relatively stout. Face is very swollen from a beating, kind of thing. This sends things relatively south relatively quickly, as I believe Morgran is a cousin of one of the dwarves they're looking for. They're looking for Gundren Rockseeker. The cousin does recognise the absolutely smashed to biscuits near corpse of Gundren in the corner, chained up, and does appear to have been beaten by King Groll. Relatively quickly things fall to piss. The party do engage King Groll. The drow steps away and sits down and mostly just observes this unfold. So the party mostly engage King Groll, his wolf, a handful of goblins around the area before they managed to successfully get the door closed. And they dispatched King Grull relatively quickly, actually. Yeah, quite quickly. And the session ends with the party defeating the King Grull. And we pick up next session in Lost Mines, session 13.